everybody, and welcome back to the Boardgame Mechanics. It's me, Katie, and with me, as always, is...
What's going on? It is Jason.
So, we're still in quarantine. Governor DeWine is letting up a little bit. Our children are still insane. Like, right now, they should be sleeping, but they're upstairs causing a ruckus, so I hope you can't hear them.
Yeah, they're like banging on the floor. It's pretty crazy.
Oh, my gosh. They're being ridiculous. Like, they don't have that much, I think maybe another week or so or two of schoolwork, and then they're done with that, which has also been kind of a pain. And, like, our youngest is a true extrovert, so being away from people and not having friends or any of that outlet has made her extra annoying and psychotic. She just is crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. She needs to get, once this is over, she needs to go meet with like 14 kids and just run around in a circle for like an hour.
And just talk and boss them around and...
Yeah. Someday.
Yep, someday. But, you know, things are still going well here. I mean, today was a really nice day. It was sunshiny, so we're hitting spring weather. And so being outside is also really great for them. So I hope you guys are all hanging in there, doing well, staying safe, staying healthy. We care about our riveted group. So wash your hands, stay home if you can, wear your face mask in public. That's my community service announcement.
Dun dun dun.
The more you know. And actually, Jason is going to take over news tonight because...
Katie's been slacking. Bam.
I was grading like final research papers, which are supposed to be at least 6 pages, and I had several that were in the 9-page, 10-page range. So I've been doing a lot of crazy grading and like creating new lessons for my college classes. Oh, so I've been slacking. I'm sorry, guys. Jason actually, I think, wanted to record this week without me. He wants to have you guys all to himself. So he's trying to edge me out since I'm so crazy busy with school. I see his evil and nefarious.
That's not the case. I'm just trying to take stuff off your plate so you're not stressing out. Which is why I'm doing the news, because I had time sitting on my butt while you were stressing out being crazy.
That's his cover story. So if you are a fan of me, tell us on the Riveted. Don't let Jason take over.
No one wants to hear a bunch of episodes of me rambling for 30 minutes. Let's talk about some news. I found a couple things on Kickstarter this week that seemed a little interesting, and one of them is a sequel or a re-implementation of a game that we've done on the channel before. There's a video on our YouTube channel, and it's called Tiny Ninjas Heroes, and it's from Tooniverse Games, number 2, and then Nuverse, like universe, and it has 19 days to go, $29, and what this game is it's a 2-player game, and in Tiny Ninjas, you were getting these cards, and one player was going to be on offense, or the attacker, and one player was going to be the defender. The goal of the game is you're trying to play these cards to knock your opponent's health down to 0. Because the trick here is once you're done being the attacker, then the opponent becomes the attacker, and they're going to beat up on you for a while. So you're just back and forth fighting with some cool cards and some cute artwork and some really nice dice. But Tiny Ninjas Heroes, it's the same core concept, but it looks like to go along with the cards that you're playing, there's also these dice, which the original game had dice too, but this one has more, and you're going to be putting them in this little grid, and they're going to have like range attacks, which you can hit certain spaces in this grid where you're putting dice and stuff. So it seems like more of the same, but a little more involved. So that's Tiny Ninjas and Tiny Ninjas Heroes. And if you're interested, look at our YouTube channel and see what they're kind of like.
Yeah, Tiny Ninjas, I liked that game. It was fun. The artwork is adorable. It had that cute little, like, setup where you played in, like, a little dojo.
Yeah, you roll the dice in the dojo. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I liked it. It's cute. I think it's definitely worth checking out if you like kind of battle games. I thought that was fun.
All right, and the next one is also a battle game.
I'm, like, so interested in this. So interested.
And it also has to do with not ninjas, but it's a battle of the boy bands, which is what this is called.
That is right up my alley. This theme speaks to me.
Yeah, Katie loves K-pop and J-pop and all that kind of garbage. And A-pop,
I like
American pop.
Yeah, I was going to say, I like American boy bands.
Yeah. So what this game is, well, it's from Game and a Curry is the company, which is really weird. $25, 26 days ago. And what this game is it's a drafting game, a la Seven Wonders or Sushi Go, something like that. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to draft cards to have the best boy band after 6 rounds. I don't really know how that works. I think you're probably trying to get cards that go together, which you normally do in a drafting game. But the core concept of the game is you're drafting cards, trying to get a better boy band than everybody else.
The thing about it is interesting that it's not cumulative. Like, you have an event card that's in play that you are like drafting your boy band to work with. And so the event lasts for like 2 rounds. And so then you score that event. And so then you get a new one. And so you've got like 6 total rounds. So like three of these event cards you go through. So it's really kind of cool that you have that like opportunity to do up new stuff. And so it's really cool because you've got this group and I love it because like there's like they all have like these talents. So some of them are rappers, some of them are dancers, some of them are just the hottie, in a boy band. And then they're like from an emo boy band or a supernatural boy band or futuristic one or a rebellious one. Like, I love that. And so then you can like play cards on top to like give them an extra talent. Like, they could have a signature scent. They could be multi-talented and play an instrument and dance.
Notice how I breezed right over all that supernatural stuff.
The artwork is cool. It's very anime inspired. You can like attack other people. Like, if you have a supernatural guy, you can like send vampire hunters after somebody else's supernatural band member.
That's crazy.
Or like the MIBs, the Men in Black go after the futuristic guy. It looks amazing. Hilarious, campy. I really want you to back this for me.
There is one video that I saw from Girls Game Shelf. They just posted a video for it today, so I might have to check that out.
I know. There's also like an in-depth like play review with the co-designer, which I think looks awesome. I love the artwork. I love boy bands. K-pop and J-pop and all the A-pop. I mean,
all the alphabet pop.
Menudo,
all the letters of the
Backstreet Boys, 98 Degrees, One Direction. Oh, I love me some boy bands. So this theme, you know how I love theme. I would play this up so bad.
Oh yeah, this is like my number 1 most anticipated game ever right here. Stop.
Don't be a jerk, okay?
No, it does seem cool though, really. It did seem kind of interesting, for real.
I love it. I want it.
All right, so
check it out, guys. Check out the Kickstarter. There's still 26 days left to go. So you got to go check it out. It's funny. Think of all the possibilities. Think of the possibilities.
Yeah, and you can think about those possibilities in your own house because we are not backing this one.
Oh, come on.
You realize I've backed like 6 Kickstarters.
This is under the $50 threshold.
Yeah, it's way under, but still.
Did you back it? Yeah, but you backed a bunch of them at $1. When the pledge manager comes, are you actually going to back them for me?
Yes, I did. Yes. Except for Fruticola, or whatever that one is, because the shipping was like $92 because it was coming from Europe.
Yeah, but that game looks good. We're going to have to look at it for a market. But
yeah.
Did you back Moonshine
yes,
Empire?
I did, yes.
Oh, guys, we're going to do a live play Moonshine Empire when it arrives. I'll do an unboxing video. That's what I'll do. All the Kickstarters that Jason's backed for me during pandemic, there'll be Katie's pandemic unboxing videos.
So 2 years from now.
2 years from now, get ready for my killer YouTube content and unboxing videos.
That's funny. So that's all the news we have. Let's move on to games that we played that don't have to do with me spending money.
Yes, we'll talk about games played. And we got a few games. We, again, have been playing a lot of Clank Legacy because it's so good. We actually started a separate campaign of that aside from our initial one. So we're like double dipping and it's really fun. But we did manage to get in a few other games. And the first game is called, one of the ones we played, is called Winterborne. And one of the members of the Riveted, was it Tim?
It was Scott.
It was Scott. I can't remember. Oh yeah, it doesn't have many, so it could have been Tim.
That's right.
Scott posted about this game, and I'm like, ooh, that looks like a game that we would probably like. I see like track looking things, it looks kind of dry, and I see cubes. So we checked out Winterborne. I'll let you talk about Winterborne.
All right,
I don't remember.
So Katie did play this game. We did play it together. So what this game is, essentially is it's a deck builder. Everybody has their own house in this old castle, noble family, whatever.
Oh, yeah, I remember now.
You have some starting cards. You have 6 starting cards. You're going to draw 4, and you're going to play them. And the way that the game works is your cards are going to move around these 3 people. There's a conqueror, a shaman, and an explorer on this rondel. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to get these people, warrior. You're trying to get these people next to certain colors of hexes, which is going to represent that color hex on the main board, which is going to let you either buy new cards, conquer, which is going to put more little tokens on your rondel to make your people more powerful. They'll have 3 places they can go instead of 1. Or it's going to give you an ally to trade with, so you can go there and trade something for something else to get some in-game points. That's the gist of the game, really. But the tricky thing here is it takes place over 4 seasons. So you have, I think it starts in spring, summer, autumn, and then you're going to winter. And each season has a certain amount of cards that can get bought, and that's going to be the timer. But the interesting thing here is when you get to winter, then you're going to have this special power, player ability, which is going to kick in, but you're going to have to make sure that you have enough of these favor tokens to run those powers. So spring, summer, and fall can all play for multiple rounds. We could play 10 rounds in each if we wanted to, depending on how much we're buying cards. But when you get to winter, there's only 3 rounds. Each player's taking 3 turns. And you need to make the best of it because that's going to end the game. So it's a pretty interesting little timer. It's a slow deck builder. You're not getting a pile of cards. It has some interesting little mechanisms. I like the way the deck building and the rondel work together. So yeah, I like this one, Winterborne.
Yeah, this one's okay. I don't like when you claim it to be a deck builder because
it is. Not. You're buying cards. You're making your deck bigger. You are building your deck.
I feel like that is not a main mechanic. Like I feel like it's.
What's the main mechanic then?
Worker placement.
It's rondel and deck. Without building your deck, you're never going to have any better cards to do anything.
I don't know. That's why, because like I love deck builders. But this is a slow.
It's really slow. Yeah, you're buying maybe 4 or 5 cards the whole game.
And you really could maybe not buy cards. Like, I mean, and even at that, like 1 or 2, you know?
Yeah, you're not going to buy a bunch the whole game. That's for sure.
So that's kind of why I was like, it's okay for me. The decisions are pretty tight. I do like the fact that you can go about it different ways. So like some people might buy more cards to try and get different things to happen. I went like a building route just to try and make the most out of my territories and put buildings on those because that's a scoring multiplier. You can get different goods, get like end of game goal cards. So there are several different ways to really get points in this, which I always think is nice in a game because I like to play it. I like to go my own way, to quote Fleetwood Mac. So that I did like about it, but the slow deck building was sad to me. So it was okay, and I would play it again. But it's not a love it for me.
Yeah, it's definitely like every mechanism that's ever been in a Euro game is in this game. It has everything. Buildings. It doesn't have tracks, so it's missing some tracks. But everything else it has buildings, removing things from your board, giving you player powers. It has player powers, has rondels, it has worker placement, it has deck building, it has it all.
Now, if they create an expansion and they add tracks, this has potential to be a great game.
Best game ever then, yeah. Yeah, so I'll be doing a video for this eventually, so stay tuned to our YouTube channel if you care. All right, so you want to talk about the next game?
Sure. The next game we played is from one of our good friends, PDB, little Philip duBarry, and that's Rice Dice. And we also have it's the dice version of his full board game Spirits of the Rice Paddy, which we also have. And we got that like really early on, I think, in our game collecting, and we just were not, I think, as good at games then or understanding rules then. So we had trouble playing that game. I think we would do much better now. And so that's on our list of to play for sure, especially after playing Rice Dice. And so Rice Dice, you have cards that represent rice paddies, and you're rolling dice to determine the actions you're going to take on your rice paddies. You have to give them water. They have to be flooded in order for you to plant the rice in them. Then you have to get rid of the water in order to harvest the rice.
Which seems backwards, but that's the way it works.
No, that's how rice planting works.
I know, it just seems backwards from all other farming.
Sort of. No, when you harvest, you have to have the fields dry. You can harvest when it's wet.
Yeah, I guess, but you wouldn't.
You just don't know anything about farming.
Yeah, that could be true. Yeah, that's probably true. I'll just keep me quiet now and let you finish.
I was an FFA, man. Future Farmers of America. I know about farming. You're a city boy.
That's true. It's true.
You can also, so you're rolling these dice on different sides. You've got water that you can add to your patties, and then you can also release from your patties to move them down to other ones that need flooded. You have got you've got workers that can plant rice. They can harvest rice. They can also pick out weeds, which weeds also show up on the dice. And then you can draw cards that allow you to expand your rice fields and add new patties that have these special powers, which are really cool because they can allow you to do different things. And that makes your rice patties different from other people. The patties come in different sizes, so they allow you for different points when you harvest them. But some of the larger patties are harder to get flooded to get enough workers to use. And some of the ones with the best powers are only maybe 1 or 2 hexes big to grow rice in. But it's quick. It's really simple to teach, easy to pick up, and I really thought it was fun. I liked it a lot.
It is fun. I think the hardest thing to teach is the water, though, because water, everybody gets to do something, whether it's their turn or not, if they want to. And that's really hard to teach, and how to flow it down, and you can't partially fill a patty and all that mess. That's the hardest part. Everything else is super easy.
I don't think that was hard. I think one person playing had a problem understanding it.
No, I mean, in his defense, it is a little tricky. But outside of that, like workers, you need a worker to do a thing. One worker can do 1 hex worth of work. So it's pretty easy there. And I also like that some of the rice patties have really random special powers. Like one of Brandon's powers was you roll 3 question marks, you get 10 points. So just stuff like that. Like that's like push your luck stuff that I like. So that was fun. Not even relevant to growing rice, but it was fun.
Yeah, it's just a really great game. And I think a great lead in to Spirits of the Rice Patty, which is a bigger version of it. But also, like any other kind of small dice game, this would be really easy to teach to people. I think it has a cool theme that you don't see very often, and I like the way it looks. Like the art is great. So that's Rice Dice. That's Rice Dice by PDB.
Rice Pice.
Pice Rice.
Yeah,
sorry.
I like that.
Sorry, Philip. I screwed it up.
You're awesome. He listens to our podcast. He knows what to expect.
Maybe he doesn't listen to our podcast. We just think he does because he every once in a while comments
That's
on the Riveted.
He does comment on the Riveted, so I'll take that to mean I listen to every podcast and you guys are the best. That's how I take it.
Oh, okay. You're expecting a lot from a pretty okay podcast listen.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so the last game we played outside of the, I think like 6 games of Clank Legacy that we played is Wingspan with the European expansion.
I think you're only bringing this up because you want to like bring it up and tout about the fact that you won finally.
No, it's on the game. It's the 3rd game that we played, but yes, I did win. And I posted it on the Riveted, and I won pretty nicely, like 15 points.
Like, legitimately, we've played this game a bunch, okay? And this is, like, the first time I'm pretty sure he's won.
Don't take this from me, okay? I've won twice.
You've been ridiculous about this win.
I have won twice.
You've only won once against me, okay?
But I've won once in a 2-player game with Joel, so I've won twice.
That's fine. I have won many more times than twice. But I don't go around putting in the podcast so I can talk about how I won. I don't leave the score sheet out on the kitchen table for days, so that people can stop by and see it, so that I have to see it every time I walk past it.
That's because you're a better human than me, okay?
People, I'm not even joking. He did leave the score sheet. Everything else was put away. The score sheet was sitting on the table for days for people to look at.
I may have done that, yes.
Okay.
I did. But let's talk about Wingspan. So we've all talked about Wingspan multiple times. There's videos on our channel. It's a engine building game where you're trying to get these different types of birds to live in one of the 3 habitats on your player board. And the more birds you can get down on your player board, the more powerful. I almost said more stronger. The more powerful your action is going to be in that row. So like if I'm taking a draw cards action, if I have 3 birds down there, it's going to be super powerful because I might have 3 other birds that are going to be able to give me a special action when I take that action. So you're going to do this over, I think, 4 rounds. And there's some in-round goals you're trying to accomplish. And then whoever has the most points is the winner. European expansion is awesome because it adds a whole pile more cards and purple eggs. So if you like purple, you need to get that as well.
And I do like purple, so I do like that. And I love this game. I love engine building. I like looking at the drawings. I like making the birds make chomping noises when they eat other birds.
Yeah, you do. And while we're talking about this game completely crushed it at the Golden Geek Awards. I think it won like 7 awards, like all of them. It won like Best Abstract Game, Best Video Game. It won Best Podcast somehow. I have no idea how it did it.
And you know what? I feel right that it beat us out for Best Podcast. Like.
Yeah, it's crazy. It won everything. I don't know how it did it. It's crazy.
And then I saw somebody say, now that Wingspan's won all these awards, can we agree that it's overhyped? And someone was like, the people voted it, so how can it be overhyped? They're the ones creating the hype that it exists.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing I thought was funny is it won Family Game and Strategy Game, which is interesting. That just shows that game can be played across all, like, gamer levels. So new people can play it. Gamers love it. I think that's pretty interesting, too.
Yeah. So those are the games we played this week. All right. So for our feature tonight, we have been struggling a little bit on what do we talk about? Like, this is episode 120. We've had 120 episodes. And after a while, you're like, haven't we already talked about this? Have we covered this yet?
We may have covered this. I don't know. We'll find out.
But so we asked for suggestions in the Riveted, and you guys gave us a ton of really great suggestions. So hopefully we write those down and don't forget them. So we can use them.
You're hilarious.
Okay, I will try to remember them. Jason has already forgotten them.
Yeah, I'll forget that I did that post, and I'll send out another post next week. So be prepared.
He will. I'll help you guys out and remember. So you'll see your idea featured. Some of you mentioned things that we've already done, and I'm like, guys, are you not listening to us? Are you just joking? Like, we're not your favorite podcast. But one of the things was talking about getting into kind of publishers' catalogs and looking at different publishers and what games they've done.
Designers.
Designers. Shoot. Getting into designers, not publishers. I think we should do publishers because that makes more sense for us because we have more games by groups of publishers.
That's true.
I think than we do by designers.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I love all kinds of different designers because all I care about is theme. Not all I care about, but I care a lot about theme. And so our designers are all over the place. I'll only play like 1 or 2 games by each designer because I like the variety. So tonight, we're going to cover a designer that I actually do really enjoy. There are a couple of games on his list that I just really love. And that is Paolo Mori. And I love to say his name, too.
Yeah, it's a cool name to say. It's satisfying. Paolo is a cool name.
Paolo.
All right, so we're going to talk about our 5 favorite games. Now, these are only games we've played because we're not going to rank games that we haven't played because that's madness.
No, you're not going to do that.
Of all of his games, I think there are like 10 or 11 or 12. I have the other ones we haven't played on the list as well. We're going to talk about the 5 that we've played. At least one of us has played. And then if the other one hasn't played, then we can just breeze over those. But at least one of us has played all 5 of these games. So the first game we're going to talk about, so we'll say our number 5, is a game that I've played that Katie has not played. And it is called Blitzkrieg. And you have to say it like that.
Because there's an exclamation point.
Yep. And this is a 2-player bag pulling game. So you're pulling these little chits out of a bag, and you're trying to win these different battles. There's like 8 or 9 different little battle areas on this board. It's basically a tug of war. So you're pulling your color chits out of your bag. The other player's pulling chits out of their bag. And you're trying to have more influence on your side of each battle to win these battles to score points. The first person, I think, that scores 35 or 25 points or something wins the game. It's pretty straightforward. There are a few chits that have special powers. Not that difficult to play. It's just pretty fun if you like pulling stuff out of a bag. So that's Blitzkrieg.
Yeah, and I remember you playing this. I just don't like war-based games.
Yeah, it's World War II. I think you're right.
Again, the theme took me out. But I remember you saying that you were really surprised at how fun this game was.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like war games a ton either at all. And this isn't really a war game. It's pulling out of a bag tug of war with the war theme. So it looks like a war game, smells like a war game, but it's not a war game. It's pretty fun.
A game that does look your speed, though, is the next game on our list, and that's a Vasco da Gama.
Oh, yeah. This is really good. Have you played this one?
No.
Yeah.
I don't understand how. We've had it for a while. It's like the ugly-looking Euros that you like to play.
It's
and
from
make
What's
me
Your Game?
play.
Yeah, What's Your Game?
Oh yeah, and What's Your Game? Is Scott also our What's Your Game guy?
Yes, he is. So Vasco da Gama, I think I played this twice. This is a game where it's a pretty deep, heavy Euro, where what you're trying to do is you are picking these little tokens. They're going to go from numbers like 1 to 30, I think. And you're going to put out a worker, and you're going to grab one of these tokens. So I may put out the first worker of the game, but I may take token 30. So what that means is that's going to be the last token that activates on the board when we start activating workers. The trick here is there's going to be an economy that's for the round. So there might be, we might start at number 15. So anything under 15 is going to cost money if you take it. So if I take 14, it's going to be like a coin. If I take 13, it'll be a couple of coins. But the trick here is you're going to flip something after everybody takes numbers, and it may adjust the economy up or adjust it down. So people who thought they weren't going to be spending money because they took higher numbers are actually now going to have to spend money, which is kind of jerky, but that's the way the game works. And what you're trying to do in this is you're trying to get these ships to deliver goods, because that's the making of all good Euro games. And you're trying to earn favor, get these different people to pilot your ship that have certain colors, because certain color people are going to do certain things. Just think everything that's good about Euros, and it's in this game with that crazy economy thing. And if you like that, you need to check this out. So that's Vasco da Gama. And Katie, you need to play this.
I'm a little concerned about the economy portion of it.
It's not as crazy as it sounded right there. It's just hard to explain it. It's really not as bad. It's just one extra little thing to think about.
This is what makes me wonder if this is the reason why I don't play more games that you bring in, is because you Jason explained them to me, and I'm like, oh, that sounds terrible.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's probably true. But then I'll actually explain it when we're playing, and then it's different.
I know, but I got to overcome that initial to get to the table.
So let me explain it differently. So there are these boy bands. They're on these boats
named Vasco and da Gama.
Yeah, they're J-pop, and they're trying to go across the ocean to get to America to win over all the fans of the teenage girls. So that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get the fans. Does that make you want to play this game now?
Sure. But can my boy band be Vampire Vascos?
You can name your boy band that doesn't exist in this game whatever you want to. All right, so our number 3 game from Mr. Paolo Mori that we have played.
Are we ranking these from least favorite to favorite?
Yes.
So we like all of these games.
Yes.
But of the ones we've played, this is the list. So like 5 was Blitzkrieg and 4 was Vasco da Gama. So we're moving. And
to be fair, Vasco da Gama would probably be higher up if we both played it. But since I was the only one that played those 2, that's why they were at the bottom.
It's because you explained that one poorly.
No, it has boy bands, but we're moving on. So number 3 is Ethnos. So if you want to talk about that one, if you remember it, you can. You don't remember it? Okay, so
like vaguely. I can talk about it in vague terms, but no, I don't remember any specifics of how they play the gameplay or anything.
All right,
you have factions, right?
Yeah, there's like giants and wizards and fairies and boy bands.
There are no boy bands in that one. I would have remembered the game if there had been boy bands.
You got to draw the line to having boy bands and Ethnos. Okay. So what this game is essentially, it kind of plays like Ticket to Ride a little bit, where you're trying to collect these different types of cards. Like you need to get giants. I need to get like 6 giant cards to put down this area control marker in this area to control it. Hence the name area control. So then the next person that goes there would need to have 7 cards to be able to put their marker down, so on and so forth. You're collecting cards to get some area control in these different areas to score some points. That's the gist of the game. There's also some special powers that each faction has. I don't remember what they do because we've only played it one time.
Yeah, I don't remember all the special powers either.
But it's easy to play. You draw a card and then you play some cards eventually. That's the gist of the game. The artwork is boring and awful, which is why I kind of like it.
And why I don't. I think that's the reason why I don't remember that much about it, is because a couple of things. One, it was like all brown.
Yeah, it's brown and gray and tan. Yeah.
It's all these hideous colors. Second, it's really simple. There's not a lot of dimension to it, which normally would be okay if it was a simple kind of mechanic that I liked, but it's not. It's area control, which I hate. So if you like area control, I could see where you would like this. And honestly, like I would move this one down below Vasco da Gama, even having not played Vasco da Gama, because I really like, that's why I forget about it, because it wasn't memorable to me. And it was just like, that's okay.
Yeah, I think it should be lower than that too. But since you haven't played it, that's why it still stays where it is. Yeah. So that's Ethnos.
You're being generous. Number two and number one, really, I think their order might be based on how much I like them.
Yeah, probably. I would rank them differently, probably.
I think you would flop them.
Yep, that's okay. It's fine.
That's okay. So number 2 is Dogs of War. And Joel and Jason have talked about this game, and I have as well. Again, this is another tug of war game, which I think is something that Paolo Mori does seem to do very well, in that you have your particular faction. Again, we've got factions. And you are trying to influence these basically on board tug of wars. You are backing a certain color. And I always pick, it comes with these ridiculous minis that you don't need, but I love them anyway because I picked the lady.
Wait. What did you just say?
I love the lady with the big hat.
No, before that. What did you say?
You don't need these minis.
Okay, I just want to make sure I was hearing correctly because you are 100% correct.
You could use shape meatballs. I love those.
But you could use coins. It's for all that matters. It's irrelevant.
No, but I think the minis are nice because they're tactile, and I love the one with the lady with the big hat.
Yeah, she's annoying.
Because I like that she takes up extra spaces and annoys you.
It's super annoying, yes.
And so then you've got player powers also that go with your particular faction, which is a cool thing also that Paolo Mori does. In some ways, it's reflecting Ethnos in a better way. There's lots of negotiation happening. You're playing cards to pull the side towards one color or the other. You're adding your miniatures down. You're playing cards along with them. You're trying to gain these extra little prizes, or I don't know, prizes, like bonuses based on where you play your miniature, your player piece. And then you're negotiating with people to try and get them on your side. And like, there's some backstabbing.
Yeah, it's pretty mean. It's a pretty mean game.
And Joel always says, oh yeah, you get caught up in this one fight and you get people to side with you and then you turn on them in the other, but it's okay because they forget about it. Some of us don't, Joel. I haven't forgotten. Jed, yeah. I haven't forgotten about you either. You playing your war machine.
Yeah.
After we negotiated a truce. I remember these things. But the player interaction is always fun. And again, like the miniatures are unnecessary, but they look fun. They look cool. They're fun to handle. They really show you which side you're on, what you're doing. It's just a fun kind of nutty, again, little tug of war game on a board. Yeah,
just be careful who you're playing it with, because if people don't like that backstabbing stuff, they could get really mad.
Right.
I don't really like that stuff, but some games I'm fine with it in. And it's tug of war. Not super high strategy. You're playing a card trying to, pull the flag to your side. Not a big deal. But yeah, some people can take it way too serious. So just be careful for that. But yeah, Dogs of War is great. All right, so let's talk about our number one game here, which I don't know. I might put Dogs of War here, but this one's really good. So the number one game from Paolo Mori, in our opinion, is Libertalia.
Yes.
So before we talk about Libertalia, I just want to say every one of these games that we've talked about, that we've played from Paolo Mori, are all over the board in like what they do. There's the heavy Euro. There's the 2-player tug of war with Blitzkrieg. There's simple introduction like Ticket to Ride Ethnos. There's crazy negotiation, backstabbing, huge minis, tug of war with Dogs of War. And then there's Libertalia. So if you want to talk about Libertalia, have at it.
Yeah, I really like Libertalia. This is actually really high up in my top 100 games and has been for a long time. I love the pirate theme. So everyone starts out with the same cards, and they're different members of your pirate crew. And you're going to play them in different groups. So in each round, you each have the same number of cards, but you can carry over some crew members to your next round. And what you're trying to do, each crew member has a special power. So when you play it, that power goes into effect. And then some of those powers play off of other people's cards that they've played, play off of the crew you already have on your boat, in your hold, play off of the treasures that are out there and available. And so they're numbered. So you're playing your specific numbered card. It's like a simultaneous action selection kind of thing happening. And everyone reveals the card to place in numerical order, and then the actual powers fire. So you're trying to use your crew in the best way to get the most treasure. You can also get things that attack other people's crew members, gets rid of them, helps you get more crew, helps you carry over certain crew members that are valuable to you. It's just a thinky, fun game, and all you're doing is picking a card each time.
Yeah, that's part of the fun, is trying to guess what other people are going to play. And then when you get into the later rounds, which cards from the previous rounds they still have in their hand that you may also have, so you can play them at different times. That's majority of the game, is trying to not play what other people was playing, because then you're sure that your card's going to fire first, it'll get to do its thing and all that. Well, you're not always sure, but you're more sure. So yeah, I really like that simultaneous action selection thing. It's really fun.
Yeah, because you're outthinking other players, but you're also wanting to use cards that benefit you the most at the time when they benefit you the most. Because you've got like daytime, sunrise, sunset, and night. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep.
Like 3 different phases, and so certain cards fire at different phases. And there are some cards that only work if you're the only person that plays it at a certain time. It's just like, it's thinky and yet deceptively simple at the same time. And that's what I think is so great about this. And another reason why I love this game. So that is our number 1 Paolo Mori game, Libertalia.
All right, so let's do a rundown of the top 5, and then we can talk about, well, I'll at least mention the other games that he's done that some of you probably have played that we haven't because we suck. So our top 5 is Blitzkrieg, Vasco da Gama.
I think Ethnos should be number 4, but...
Well, we're going to leave it at what it is now. So
right.
Blitzkrieg is 5, Vasco da Gama is 4, Ethnos is 3, Dogs of War is 2, and number 1, Libertalia. All right, so let's talk about some other games. I don't know if you know any of these games or not, but I'm going to say them. So another game that he has done is Gotham City Strategy Game, which is essentially a Batman game that uses like little hero clicks type figures that keep track of some information on the base. And you're trying to do some area control. He kind of likes area control. You're doing some area control around Gotham City to collect these different types of things. And then occasionally Batman shows up and slaps you around.
Gotham City.
Yeah. So Batman on a board, which seems kind of cool.
I don't know, though. I feel like this is a game that you would not like.
I don't think I would either, but a lot of people say it's pretty solid. A lot of reviewers like it. But again, I think it's with the caveat that if you like games that do that, then this is probably a fun one, mostly because it has Batman slapped onto it.
Yeah, which is, I think, why we haven't played it, is it's just not our typical type of game.
Right, yeah. And the next couple, I've never heard of, so I'll just mention them briefly. Borneo, I think I might have heard of that, but I don't know what it is. La Isla Bonita.
It's a good Madonna song.
Memento, which is a good Guy Pearce movie. Olympicards, I don't know. Then there's some games that I do know. So Pandemic Fall of Rome, which is the newest Pandemic cash grab, which is him and Matt Leacock.
I've heard great things about this one.
Yeah, it looks kind of neat. It's it has a cool theme that I like. It's not killing viruses, it's killing invaders into Rome. Yeah.
So different.
So different. It is different. All right, moving on. Next game is a game called Pocket Battles, which I have no idea what that is.
It's about boy bands fighting who wears pockets the best.
That could, it might be. That would be sweet. Then the last 2 games, I do kind of know a little bit about these. So Rise of Augustus, or
I
Augustus.
do want to play this. I've heard of this.
Yeah, it's like a bingo style game where you're trying to fill out these little boards that you have in front of you with certain types of like weapons, shields to get points. So it kind of,
I wanted to play it until you explained it.
That's what it is.
Nobody wants to play bingo.
It's like Tiny Towns. It's that same mechanism where somebody does something and everybody else has to do it, which
Quit
is bingo.
Using bingo to describe that. That sounds terrible.
That's what it is.
It's not. There's got to be a better word for that.
All right. I want all the Riveted members to chime in and say what they would call that mechanism.
Thank you.
And the term that you want to type in the comments is called bingo.
No, you don't.
All right. So moving on from bingo, we're going to go to his party game, which is called Unusual Suspects. And I believe this is a game all about describing people based on stereotypes.
I like that.
Yeah, I don't know a ton about this, but it's like pictures and you're trying to describe people based on the way they look. So I don't know how PC this is, but it seems silly and fun.
Yeah, I'm down. I love those kind of games where they're like language based in like a fun way, and that you can play casually. Because I mean, yes, we play a lot of heavy Euros, but I also enjoy playing with casual gamers and like having that kind of freedom to chat and talk and do other things as well as play a game, which you hate, but
yeah, I don't love that. I don't love that.
Which I'd be surprised if you would like this game then.
I probably wouldn't, but if we play it on a crowd, with certain people who only play these types of games, I like to have some of these games that I don't despise. So when I'm in those situations that we can play these and, I'm at least having an okay time.
Exactly.
So like Just One. Like I like that game. So whenever there's a party game situation where we have to go, I just want to play Just One. Or Ladies and Gentlemen.
Yes, that's a good one.
Yeah. So, all right. So that is all of Paolo Mori's games, according to BGG. There's one that's not out yet that I didn't include because there was nothing on it, so I'm not going to talk about it. Those are our top 5. Let's hear what you think. What do you like from Paolo Mori? I'm sure you guys like all the games that we didn't talk about because that's just how we roll.
Right. So if there are games that we didn't talk about, they're like, oh yeah, we haven't heard of this one, we don't know much about this one, and you know about it and you like it and you think it's worth playing, tell us, post in the Riveted, send us a message, hit us up on Instagram, Twitter, whatever, so that we know what we need to start trying to play from Paolo Mori, because we do like a lot of his games and they kind of are a little bit widespread in mechanics, and that's great for a lot of variety of people. So what do you think of our list?
And don't forget, #Rise of Augustus is bingo the board game.
You realize that describing a game as bingo is like a death sentence. I'm not even saying that may not be the mechanic, but I don't think it is. But you have to recognize that it also is like a terrible advertisement for a game.
I do understand that, yes.
This is the life that I live, people, okay? This is the reason why I only play a few games, because Jason's like, oh, let's play this game. It's like crap in a box. And I'm like, that sounds terrible. Why would I want to play that? Learn to describe games in a way that is palatable for other people.
All right, so I do want to know what the Riveted thinks that mechanism is called. If it's not bingo, I just want to know so I can call it something else, so I can persuade Katie using your term so she'll play this game.
I'll play it anyway, maybe.
We don't have it, so I'll have to find it.
Yeah, we'll have to find it. Someone's got it. Yep, so those are our favorite Paolo Mori games. If there is a designer that you want to see us feature, let us know, although we might not have played a lot of their games. We'll see what we can do. We'll try and do our research. We'll see if we've got friends that own those games and try and bring them out just for you guys, because the Riveted are the best fans in the world. If you stick by us and are willing to post on our Facebook page and hang out with us and listen to us to just a pretty okay podcast, you've got to be amazing, dedicated, loyal people. That's all I have to say.
Oh, yeah, totally. Like, you guys are wasting an hour of your life a week. You're the best.
You are the best. So, hang in there. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Don't always.
Touch your face. Keep your hands away from your eyeballs.
Are you trying to make a boy band song out of that?
Yes, that's what I did. Yep.
Why?
I was dancing too. You just couldn't see it.
You are one person that does not a boy band make. Okay?
I'm a man band.
I wish you would cut that part out in editing, and I know you won't.
You know it's not coming out.
Oh my gosh. All right, guys. Hang in there in the pandemic. Look what I'm stuck with. I'm Katie.
And I'm Jason.
Keep gaming, everybody.
Keep gaming.